But before we go to the tomb, let's check our kingdom.
Side quest, aren't we doing a side quest?
Evan, I hope we leave you behind those poor cats to rot in jail.
Yeah, that's actually a good
Don't worry, Lofty. The main plot stops frozen in time every time we're doing side quests. Fortunately,
Yeah, that's actually also a good segue. If nothing too important is going on right now.
Go ahead.
Nothing too important indeed.
Let Teo speak. Go ahead.
No. That is this thing. The concept, that kind of specific concept, also with the gathering spot in the sewer, actually reminds me of a previous situation tied to a level 5 game. Obviously, clearly not the same thing, but it has kind of a similar feeling. In Jeanne d'Arc, due to story reasons, basically, there are, since it's a more of a fictional take of the war between France and Britain, there are a race of anthropomorphic animals that help in battle, on both sides. And due to stories, at some point you actually go to visit the slums of Paris, and actually you know that the community of the animals actually are forced to live there. Clearly, it's not the same thing of oppression as in here, but I kind of see a bit of a similarity in.
Go ahead, Shiri.
Sorry.
With my newfound capabilities, I will be able to help even more people than ever.
May
My progress on the
never mind.
path of learning never end.
You know, you mentioned Paris, Tio. So far as I can recall, I've seen the only games based in Paris that I've seen / played are that Professor Layton knockoff and Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, and they both suck.
You commented with us on Remember Me, Leaves. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That's Neo Paris.
Neo Paris.
My bad.
That's Neo Paris. That's Neo Paris.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Just like its attorney is Japan
It's
America.
Neo, Jova.
What's the difference?
It's Neo.
It's Neo.
It's new, Jova. It's cool.
You need to stop making fake such of narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Joe.
Actually, isn't it Mai who always says what's the difference?
Oh, Chip.
Oh, Chip.
This is exactly the kind of character you like voicing, so go ahead.
I guess this stuff is to be expected from a genius like me, but you should act at least a little impressed. Give me a round of applause or something.
I'll give you a round of applause when you're a smash rep.
Let me play the smallest violin.
Alright,
Sorry, Dark Samus says that hard.
Go ahead, Tim.
Oz. Ignore your friend, the man you see is only an illusion.
I'm bringing the very best of Broadleaf, great and determination to evermore. I'm here for all your security needs and more.
Thanks, Oz.
And more.
Yes.
Alright, and now Candy.
Eventually.
Alright, go ahead, Shiri.
I still got a ways to go, but my
Conversational
higgledy has been getting way better. The other day, a bunch of them told me to keep up the good work. It was super touching. Either that or they told me I'm incredibly shit. But
Are you sure they didn't tell you to work?
No, higgledies are, I guess.
And you mistranslated.
They're nicer dweebs.
Alright,
as some games and some TV shows have taught me, not all species of one thing are nice and not and vice versa. Beep boop boop. I just had a system update and everything is PG. I'm all set to raise the bar for Evermorian robot performance. Beep beepity boop.
good job.
Nice to hear.
So yeah, Andrew's level ups are system updates. Makes sense.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Alright, so yeah, that actually Joe brings up a good point. Yeah, we have yet to help Newbie with that spear that he doesn't quite know how to replicate. So let's go to Broadleaf, see if we can find a weapon designer that could help him. There we go. Should be around here somewhere. Oh, hold on. First I gotta...
Still leaving those security bots around.
Don't mind me, just pressing the switch.
Intruder, wait, he is of a higher level, abort mission.
Thank you. Now, as you were.
but you're not our king.
Who's the higher level here?
Our boss, what's his name?
Zip.
Hello.
Him.
Oh,
Between
it's
you
a
and
hippie
me.
guy.
Go ahead, Jova.
Hey, you're Evan, right? I've been hearing great things about your kingdom.
He's
He looks
called
like Vincent
Brodie.
from Catherine.
He does, doesn't he?
It does. And maybe it's where I'll head when I've finally had enough of this place. Which should be about a side quest's length away. Well, that would be wonderful. You'll be more than welcome anytime. Well, that really is nice to hear. Weapons are my thing, in case you didn't know. If you're ever in need of an expert in that field...
We actually, well, not me, but Nubius. So yeah.
Oh, this is perfect. We were actually just looking for a weapons expert. Lofty, take that off of the to-do schedule.
Okay, we're just a TV executive and we're good to go.
Right. Really? Man, I kinda just wanted to head over there right now, but I'm in the middle of something. There's a bunch of old military hardware in the factory that needs decommissioning.
Okay, Brodie. Gotta sit. No, you can be that one too. Why not?
Okay, Brodie, got a sit rep for you.
It's these robots, man. They're not responding to the kill command. Things are going kind of haywire. What do you want us to do, Kay?
Well, if you name them Kill, then maybe the robots will be a bit
Also,
hesitant to follow
Brodie's
the
best
command.
bud.
Yes.
Oh man, they must be old models. They'll need stopping manually.
Yeah, they were made before the
So
whole.
we're gonna hit them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Really hard.
it's okay, Shiro. They're machines. They don't have a soul.
And then it turns out that one of them had befriended a shade all this time. It was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, maybe Evan here can help us out.
Me?
yeah, man, that's a great idea. That's kind of the least you can do for us, right? Seeing as you're luring Brodie off to your kingdom and all.
I kind of agree.
You know, you're welcome to join if you hate it here too. Well, actually, I was the one who mentioned that I wanted to...
Let it do the work. Look, whatever, okay? There are 5 Mark 1 Retroroids down there, but need putting out of action before Brodie can counter your king.
Alright then.
Well, alright then.
The face of resignation.
Hey, Evan. Evan, what happened to the man who? What happened to the boy who wanted to help everyone he could?
Tranquility.
True.
I don't know. He's right here still.
He's been listening to you, Lofty.
I don't see him anywhere. You were flipping moping about it.
I was considering what you told me about taking too many side quests, but if you say we should, alright then.
I thought you had your own moral high standards.
Well, that's a.
Doesn't mean I don't listen to other people.
That too. Alright.
Well, in that respect, you'd be a better king than me. If I were the king, I'd just ignore my advisors.
It's just.
And
It's,
that's why I'm the one who's king, you're the kingmaker.
Mostly because I'm afraid that 9 times out of 10 they'll betray me and take my throne. Just like, never mind.
it's interesting to say
They're
that.
done with us.
It's interesting to say that. Because at the end of the Lair of the Lost Lord dungeon, Lofty does say something similar in terms of, "Oh, you're a better man than me, then."
Damn, I'm really into the character of Lofty.
Dweebs, that's just, getting into all of our minds for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a weird knack of doing that. I did that with Leighton even. Sometimes
Get in the line,
predicting what he says before.
Remember back when we were doing Miracle Mask and we were doing that Chapter 6 dungeon with Randall, and Leighton was doing nothing but reacting with and Wibbs literally said, and I quote, "Okay, is all Leighton gonna say throughout this entire chapter?" And then right after he says that, Randall's like, "So would you stop uttering monosyllabic grunts and help and cooperate here?"
It happens mostly with you and
Teo. Yeah, Teo was also. It happens a lot when Teo is watching the Leighton anime. And also remember when we were reading the library, the books at Broadleaf, and we were reading the Ding Dong Dell one. Teo was like, "Oh, it's actually up to date," and then Roland goes like, "This is actually more up to date than I thought."
I think the summation that I can think of the situation is that it's a sense where it's a thing of where the cliches may be present, but they're not annoying or redundant, like in a game like say Fairy Fence Wrath.
It's because Hino is actually aware of it, and he knows and he knows how people will most likely react to them. So he writes in a way where you know that you're basically going along with him because he himself is also aware.
As with everything, cliches can be potentially not bad. It's just a matter of how you use it. True to how it's named, the tropes are not bad for you. But if you're just a bad writer, no matter what you do, things will turn out bad, I guess.
A great example.
Pretty much always seems to have answers to everyone's questions almost immediately.
A great example of that is the episode 13 of the Latent Anime, because basically, Joven, was to give you an idea, episode 13 of the Latent Anime, when you get right down to the core of it, the story of that episode is basically a collection of soap opera cliches. I'm not going to say which ones because it would involve spoilers, but Hino still managed to combine them in a way that makes the story really effective, basically proving that you can take cliches and still make them effective if you know what you're doing.
And even without necessarily doing the whole deconstruction things, just playing them straight if you want.
There you go.
What did we do to you?
You exist, therefore you need to die.
You
will be exterminated.
Evan, what are you doing to my gods?
No, please, stop. Please.
Bravo.
Evan, was there any reason to attack the guards?
You will never look at a machine again with the same eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry guys, Evan's not responding. We've lost him.
Cats really don't like technology, what can I say?
I don't know, Shiroi.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Another Sid Red Balls or rampaging robots have been neutralized.
There you go.
That's very good to know.
That's the last of that old military hardware decommission. Okay.
But, Evan, I believe I told you to deactivate them, not destroy them.
Thank you so much, Evan. Yeah, we'd have been totally lost without your help.
Well, I still deactivated them. You didn't specify how I was supposed to deactivate them.
True.
But I could have saved money. I could have repurposed them.
Good to meet you, buddy.
Hey, come on. We promised we'd try to be happy for him.
Again, you can always join if you want.
After you destroyed my life's work.
Listen, Brodie, whenever you go, whatever you do, you'll always be the best boss we ever had. Good luck, okay? Aw, that's nice. Jova?
Thanks, you guys. It means a lot. We're doing great work here, okay? And you're going to do more. Or you're going to join the kingdom eventually, like that other trio that eventually joined one by one.
No, they don't actually. They stick around and they continue on from where Brodie left off.
Their name labels means that they're not specific NPCs.
True.
Gosh, you're a popular man, Brodie.
He's just that charismatic.
Now that I think about it, yeah, he is kind of the only unique sprite amongst this group.
Well, not so much that, but this is but he has a proper name. So what's his skill?
He has the Artisan's Arm. Basically, it allows him to make specific, unique weapon research that no one else can.
Also, too, when I say that he's unique, as in, like, well, he's one of the few that has the unique face or whatnot.
Yeah, Job has a point there.
Other NPCs, but yeah, he does have that unique.
Yeah, basically, too, all of the 100 possible citizens have very specific, from the ground up designs by Momose, whereas the non-recruitable NPCs have basically variations.
They have clones.
They have variations. Yeah, clone.
It's actually very subtle. I did not notice that much.
Well, Brodie's best bud literally is a guy who runs one of the stores upstairs. You know, the hippie-looking guy.
Yeah, it is. Nice side, Jova. Well, when it comes to when you're making a game that has so many NPCs, you get to a point where you have to use cloning. You can't possibly make every single one a completely unique design. That's just not
obviously.
realistic.
I
don't think anyone really has
noticed that much of a difference. You know, it's not it's not like in a game what's the name, Heavy Rain, or like in turns where you just literally copy paste the same NPC like 3 times in the same room.
Yeah. It just depends on how you spruce them up, you know, like a good game like this one spruces up the clones all throughout to the point where if you're invested, you won't even notice. Go ahead.
You can be invested and notice.
Thank you for inviting Brodie to come to your kingdom, Your Majesty. My knowledge of weapon-making technology has deepened considerably as a result of our discussions. Good job.
But all we discussed was maths.
In fact, I am now confident that I will be able to produce a replica of the spear you brought me. Or perhaps even a superior version.
That's wonderful to hear, newbie. Good luck with it all.
But I have experience. Please stop calling me a newbie.
That sounds a prison.
Name.
Sorry, newbie, but you're never gonna live your name down.
Why did my parents call me that? They might as well just
Your
call me amateur.
Your fathers were incredibly cruel.
So we had 2 fathers. Interesting.
Sins of our fathers.
Oh yeah, sins of the father.
So his parents
It's
were
a good
gay.
job,
Okay.
It's a good job I wasn't a girl. They'd have called me amateur.
Huh.
All right,
Not bad. Do you have a sister called that?
No, my sister's name is Betty the Me.
Betty the what?
Ah,
After
okay.
the major pun.
Oh, okay.
Well, don't explain the joke.
If you have to explain the joke, then it's not a joke.
Yeah, but I
Bro.
didn't explain it. Tio did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it to him.
So where to next?
The tomb, I think. Let me check real quick. Yes, we're going to the tomb now. But first, let's check.
Alright.
I think there's somebody else to level up, if I remember correctly. No. Alright. Alright, just double before we go to the tomb, let me just double check, just to make sure.
Well, yeah, might as well.
Well, good news, Evan. None of the buildings have been burned down, so I think we're okay.
Well, I'd expect no less.
I mean,
Just,
we have an entire army to protect the kingdom from such attacks. They would be useless otherwise.
Just
Now
be
just
sure
make
to...
sure that
Do we have
none
a
of
fire?
Now, just make sure that none of the soldiers and officers has an earth-shattering revelation that causes him to go crazy and tries to take over the world using an alien entity.
Wait, I got it. We'll use Brooke and the power of her alpha females troop to gather around and protect the kingdom all around it.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought of. What if the fire breaks out? Who's going to tackle the fire?
Actually, Dwibs, the skirmishers address that concern because there are skirmishers that have specific things where a specific gimmick where the enemy troops are trying to burn down your settlements and you have to protect them and rebuild them accordingly. So play the skirmishers to address that concern.
Right.
They thought of everything.
Oh, there it is. It's too dangerous to land here. Go ahead.
But basically, I mistook it. That's not supposed to be the...
In a game like this, the game just simply warns you and tells you to not doing it. In a game like Final Fantasy 15, you crash and die.
Oh dear.
It's funny, Jova.
It is.
Really, believe me, it is funny.
Oh, this guy. Hold on. This is actually one of my favorite citizens. Hold on. This is great.
Can I voice this guy then?
Actually, I kind of already cast him as me because I just love this guy so much.
Let's see how it looks.
Oh, that's never mind. I forgot. He's only available in Chapter 9. God damn it. Yeah. I think I'm remembering now. I was like, oh, wait. Can I get the Hermit already? No. Only on Chapter 9. So, all right. Never mind. We'll get back to this.
You know, Evan, you're a great ruler and all, but you have a habit of leading us down the wrong path sometimes, man.
Exploration, Lofty. Exploration.
Exploration? We came here for bloody nothing. We didn't even find anything.
Well, we found a Hermit's Hollow. That should give you a little note that maybe something will be available later on. Maybe in the next chapter, you see?
I don't buy it.
Oh, come on. Why would they... Lofty... Joe, are you there, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Basically, my characterization of Lofty is incredibly... He's very pessimistic.
Sure. Allow me. Well, think about it, Lofty. Why would the programmers give that cave a specific name, Hermit's Hollow, if it wasn't meant for anything?
Yeah, they could just be messing with you. Game devs can do that.
Alright, Crypt of the Cat
With the game this rewarding, I'm not sure, Jova. Anyway.
Crypt of the Cat Kings.
It's rewarding. Let's not forget Xenoblade Chronicles was rewarding as it is with its content.
Now the
trickier in there.
Now the sound director will make some great use of the Kingmaker theme in this upcoming cutscene.
It's that Crypt of the Cat Kings, isn't it? I heard of this place.
Yes. And only one who possesses the Mark of Kings can enter. Wow, it is like Bioshock Infinite.
Oh.
There we go.
Thankfully, I do.
Thank God for that.
All thanks to Roland.
Alright, in we go.
Alright.
Where did everyone else go?
They're in our invisible
pocket.
It's our invisible pocket.
My father's possessions are on here. His diary should be among them. Hey, Dad, it's me. We don't get to meet each other, so I thought I'd visit.
Can we borrow your diary, please?
King Leonard's diary.
Alright. Let's see.
Here it is. My father's diary.
You sure we ain't pilfering, Evan?
Well,
it's for a good cause.
Well, it's for a good cause, and technically it kind of does belong to him. He's the son. So
also, you're ascending nobility. You should follow the rules of Machiavelli.
It's as the recent series of unfortunate events.
Oh, this is important.
The episode says,
hello.
Terrible thing for a good cause.
Do you remember the day I made you my Chancellor, Mausinger? The other ministers were up in arms, but they dare not say so to your face.
Most unorthodox, yeah.
I could see the resolve in your eyes, the determination.
So there you go. He actually trusted in Mausinger, and he believed that Mausinger would help him, but somehow Mausinger lost his way.
I wonder how.
I know that you will continue what we have started.
Remember, like we foreshadowed with the Curious Boy scene, despite still being friends, he still had the distinct fear that the king might be using him despite everything. Because, well, regardless of how much Mausinger was a friend of the king, obviously the persecution for years, obviously that's not something you can just shake off.
And gee, I wonder who may have pushed Mausinger's fears to that breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, the big bad is
So,
never
Evan,
actually the big bad.
What are you going to do now?
Well, that's common in JRPGs, Shiroi. JRPGs like to have a big evil behind the apparent bad guys. That's a common trope.
Oh, it's kind of been obvious Mausinger's not the big bad of this entire story.
That was my point.
I have to make Mausinger see the truth. I have to tell him that my father really thought of him, and hope he doesn't go mad from the realization that he killed a good man.
Sounds like a plan.
So you're just gonna waltz right in there. It's like, hey,
Actually, we're
how
not.
you doing?
Actually, Shiroi, believe it or not, we're not going to waltz in. We're going to be invited, believe it or not.
Let's have that clever. I have a feeling we'll need to wait for our chance to present itself.
True. Like Shiroi just said, we can't just charge in guns blazing, so for now we'll go back to Evermore and think this over.
We were just...
Hold on.
A little talking. Go ahead, Chinggis. Go ahead, Jova.
Oi, King Evan, sir. A letter from Ding Dong Dell.
Oh, how can...
Stay the fuck out of here. Or
That's-
was it gonna sofa, is it?
Most likely.
Knew it was just a matter of time.
Why are you chuckling?
Golly.
You promised, didn't you, Roland?
Of course.
Well, remember, now that we have the Mark of Kings, obviously Mausinger is probably going to try and make some kind of deal for...
Not just that, on a geographical level, he's kind of outgunned. So,
Oh, shush you.
yeah.
What does it say?
Yeah, sure, shoot whips. So, what does it say? Yeah. Pause for
I only
suspense.
wanted Lofty to shush.
But I didn't say anything.
To be delivered by hand. Go ahead.
Shut up,
Go ahead, Teo.
To his radiant
That's Mausinger.
To his radiant majesty, King Evan, Paddy, Whisker, Tildrum of Evermore, tales of our great achievement continue to impress us. It will be honored if you would visit us to discuss your growing union.
Right.
Instructed to grant your free passage. Simply present the Mark of Kings as proof of your identity. Your eternal presence.
You know,
right.
Sorry, I can't.
You know, Mausinger's really bad at this for anyone who knows he's a bad guy.
Gotta say, if this is trolling, you made me laugh. So congratulations.
Go ahead, Shiro.
He wants to make a trade for the Muck of Kings? Guess you knew it would make a pretty good bargaining chip all along, huh, Roland?
I mean,
just as planned. It is a trap, of course. Well, no duh.
It's a trap we wanted.
Yeah.
It's a trap
but that's the thing,
within a trap.
I don't think he's trying to disguise the fact. He knows we can't refuse.
There you go, see?
That presents more dichotomy, because this means also Mausinger basically admits that Ding Dong is in a position of weakness right now.
For his weasel words, 'tis not more than a challenge, and a brazen one at that.
All right.
Yeah, this is pretty much just a polite version of come forth and put up your dukes. A challenge for honor and all that. But it does mean we can finally meet with him face to face.
So it's off the Ding Dong Dell for a bit of the old international negotiations, is it? Tidy! I'll pack my negotiating shoes.
You have negotiating shoes?
Loki!
You have shoes.
Loki, we've been challenged to a duel. Pack my Alexander Hamilton pistols.
In Jack Frost's playground. This is a sketch I
But
made.
I wanted to break. But I wanted to break my Welsh flag.
That's okay, too. This is not exactly the most important thing anyway. This is a sketch I made in the frozen land known as Jack Frost's playground. I wish I could have spent more time on it, but my fingers were in danger of freezing. The air of mystery surrounding this strange crash site cannot be adequately described with words. Yeah.
What an interesting way to get Atlas involved.
Yeah, do all the citizens there shout hee-ho?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
No.
Get off your phone, Evan. We need to
Actually, we're on Leaf. Actually, we're on the Leaf book. Not remember.
It's pretty much the same.
It's the equivalent.
Yeah, it's an app. He's on a smartphone.
He's
Get
like,
off your phone.
broken. I just need 5 more minutes.
Sure. We live in the era of magical social media. This is how things. This is how we do things.
This
There's
is the
nothing
future we've
magical about
chosen.
it.
All right. Do I read the comments? I do, yeah. Okay. It was a war machine from an ancient conflict. Go ahead.
That is no sketch. It is wonderful.
You can really feel the power of nature.
Dwebs?
This crash site is always...
Or Shira, go ahead.
Long may you continue to paint.
I should very much like to visit this place. We will later. Not now.
Well, it means that painting did its job.
Alright, so let's see what our companions have to say. Evan, I cannot presume to know how you are feeling, but know that you have my deepest sympathies. All I would advise is that you do not let negative emotions cloud your judgment. The cycle of revenge is one best avoided.
Yeah, they're saying that doesn't
Oh wait, sorry, what was that you were saying? I was just thinking of my favorite song at the moment.
Good luck, Kevin.
Also, again, that's debatable depending on the circumstances.
Well, in this case,
Evan, do you remember what Ranella said to you about you having a good heart and becoming the kindest king? Well, she was right. The heart of yours is your greatest asset. You can't afford to let anger or bitterness get the better of you. Never forget that.
What Roland just said, and Shiroi, in this particular case, it wouldn't really help us because we're trying to unite cats and mice we're trying to unite cat kind and mouse kind together, and having admittedly half cat but still a cat kill a mouse king, that's not going. I failed to realize how that's going to help.
Yeah.
Revenge doesn't have to involve killing.
I already mentioned this. A good alternative, honestly, the good alternative may be exile. With the world united, being technically isolated from me, I think it's the best karmic.
That may be true. That might be true, Teo. But who will rule Ding Dong Dell? Because we already have our own kingdom. The idea.
Well, Pedro.
Well, considering
That's what
they
figureheads
might
are
still
for.
need to have a choice, something like thinking of something like saying putting both of them in equal section and having something like an action. You know?
There are also joint kingdoms as
Right.
well.
Let's see if you can make that Mausinger later. See sense and get him to join us. You can do whatever, lad.
Yeah, we can.
I agree on the fact that killing here is the worst choice to do because
To me, it's
the
like
situation would not be fixed.
Not
on
just
that.
not to mention having Evan take revenge on Mausinger would go against the character that we've been building up at this point.
Figures. You see, Prince Crescendo. You know, I think this is kind of how you reason with this kind of situation.
Yeah.
Because God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I mean, killing or not also here, this is like Avatar The Last Airbender, where killing is not always necessary or even in some cases the best idea. Like,
you mentioned that.
This is the thing. You go first.
You can also argue that Evan is pretty much like Aang was, since you brought up Last Airbender. I mean, Evan, much like Aang, always tries to take things the pacifist route. And so he wants to try to call Mausinger to reason before he attempts any other drastic... Go ahead.
I don't know, Joe, but from what I've read of the promise so far, maybe we should have just done away with the Fire Lord.
What are you talking? Oh, that? Oh, well, Dwibs, read to the end. You'll see where they're going with that.
Well, the promise. I read that comic a long time ago, but I don't remember much of it. But whatever, that's off topic.
The promise is definitely a pretty good comic. Let me guess, you read up to the end of Volume 1, Dwibs?
I'm halfway through Volume... I think I got to the end of Volume 1, yeah.
Sure.
Alright, read to the end. You'll see where it all comes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not very good at this sort of thing, but I just wanted to say.
I know this one. Don't fuck up.
Yeah, don't fuck up.
I love you, Evan.
Don't get too downhearted, will you? I know we can do it. I know we can put a smile back on the faces of everyone in Ding Dong Dell.
These particular words of encouragement that we get from our crew also is going to serve as nice little build-up for a great big momentous moment in Chapter 9 involving Evan, but we'll get to it later.
Anyway,
you were saying? Oh, no, Shiri had something to say, Libs. Go ahead, Shiri.
When it comes to the whole revenge thing, people seem to, fiction seems to portray it as something that's all around bad. I mean, you all jumped on the murder train, but no one mentioned murder at all. Like, people seem to think that revenge is either the worst thing possible, and the only thing involved is some heinous crime, and there's no spectrum to it whatsoever.
Star Wars does that a lot. If you take revenge, you turn to the dark side.
That actually is a good point, though, sure. It's like, well, revenge can definitely extend beyond places of murder and whatnot. Like, it can be stuff that's personal. The difference between... Yeah.
It's for the cyclist of Floyd.
Yeah, one thing people don't recall is that revenge is not always mutually exclusive from justice. I mean, sure, revenge can actually be part of said justice. It just depends on, the circumstances or whatnot. Now something is all revenge and no justice, the circumstances can vary on how much a bad thing that is or is not.
It's kind of like...
Justice should come first. If actual justice doesn't work out, then justice through the form of revenge.
Exactly.
The thing is also the fact that a lot of media takes also a huge inspiration from Hamlet, which is Shakespeare's ultimate story about revenge and how, according to him, pointless it is. The most worthless of causes, as said. But again, it sadly depends on a case to case. It's not just a simple case of you hit me, I hit you back.
It's a
retort.
very complicated thing.
It's also has to do, Shiri.
Funnily enough, it does take me back to a bit of dialogue, though. How, even this game, I'm not quite sure was portraying revenge as murder, because Evan was talking about removing Mausinger from power, Not so much killing
it wasn't
him.
necessarily say killing him. So maybe he is a bit more lenient to what he was thinking. Anyway.
This might just be one of those cases where revenge happens to align with justice.
The cycle of revenge just not being a road you want to go down, but it's like, it depends.
Yeah. Let me put it like this. If the revenge of mine does align with justice, then by all means, take your revenge. But remember, justice is often the priority.
If you can, I really recommend to read shameless country plug, The Prince from Niccolò Machiavelli. It's an all-time classic of literature, but it's deemed as many as the perfect politician's guide, and to some as the perfect supervillain guide, but that's a bit beside the point. And it describes a lot of things on how a politician hypothetically should be, and it also discusses the matter of revenge. Most people know the phrase "the end justifies the means." It's not ad verbum what he states. He diversifies it a bit, but ultimately he does say, similar to what Jova and Shiri said, justice should come first, but if it involves revenge, you should at the very least consider the possibility.
It also has to do, Shiroi, with the kind of revenge that we're talking about in this particular context. Is the same that we had in the final episode of Brotherhood Final Fantasy 15, where Noctis finally found the same monster that killed his father, and he, in a fit of rage and revenge, killed the monster himself, hoping that, hoping that would at the very least alleviate his trauma and sadness. And lo and behold, it didn't at all. Which ends the whole element of revenge as the most worthless of all causes, because a lot of people tend to think revenge somehow will make their pain go away when it will never.
Admittedly, there are some cases where.
And this is, for example, where the diversification comes in, because here, on the matter of a political context, it's not just a simple matter of simple revenge for, oh, you killed my father, prepare to die. It's it's the fact of an entire state of a kingdom, an entire race verging on it. It's not just a matter of suppressing one for the sake of the other. It's literally just stopping an ideology for the sake of finding a solution to civilization's mutual living,
This is actually one point about.
Idea, but I'm not sure if some of the mice would also view that as persecution. So.
True, that too. This is definitely a thing that's like, well, Evan has never really seemed like he's out for revenge, even when he does talk about removing Mausinger from power, because removing Mausinger from power isn't necessarily just revenge in of itself. It could be a matter of justice. Like, by all means, if some things are better, maybe negotiate some stuff, but then again, just because things are better for one bout of people doesn't mean it's the best for others, and if Mausinger will not back down on it, well, then that does provide a problem for the world in general. It provides a problem for Gromolkins, that's for sure.
There's also the fact that while there are mice who don't fully agree or don't even agree at all with what's going on, what Mausinger is doing, there are also plenty of mice. It's kind of half and half that actually agree with Mausinger. So if we remove Mausinger from power, most likely
some people will be
there will be a big revolution on that regard. So it's more complicated than it seems.
Yeah,
well, obviously on that front. However, there's also the matter of
as long as he reigns, a lot of other people will suffer and potentially start rebellion as well. So it's a pure poison situation.
Let's just put it like this. The fact that Gromolkins are in the state they are pretty much throws any grey morality out the window in this regard.
I kind of agree with that. Not to mention the practice of necromancy that it was shown in the prologue. The fact that Mausinger in his army has both Necromancer and the Black Knight, a being who has no qualms of becoming pretty monstrous, complete with black eyes, in order to kill a defenseless victim. So
that reminds me, are we ever going to run into that Black Knight guy again?
Yes.
Didn't he die before we
well, I'll get back to you, Jova, when we get to the Letter of the Lost Lord DLC.
But yeah, I'm going back to Shuri's point about how sometimes revenge does actually make people feel better. Yeah, that is a thing that some stories do sometimes gloss over. Yes, revenge is never always right. But there are some cases where it is technically partly the morally right thing to do, and revenge can actually make some people feel better. I actually do like Princess Bride's take on revenge, and revenge was kind of a thing that made Inigo Montoya a lot more productive than he used to be and whatnot.
Well, Jova...
And after... hold on, let me finish.
Sorry.
And after he does get his revenge, he actually does find something productive to do afterwards. I mean, again, revenge should never take priority, but it is always nice to see the stories that do recognize that sometimes it's not always the typical story of revenge is always bad or whatnot.
Yeah, if you kill him, you're just gonna be like him.
Oh god, I hate that.
Not just that, but well, how about this, Jova? I can tell you without spoiling anything. I can tell you that Evan's ultimate decision in the turmoil that he was going through earlier in the slums will get a good payoff about what exactly made him arrive at the decision that he did, but he was only going to bring up that decision later in chapter 9, where it will be even more effective. Just so
I pretty much have a good idea of where we're going with that.
So you can look forward to. Let's just say, aside from all those reasons we just mentioned, Jova, there is also one more reason why he decided to be the better man and not take revenge on Mausinger. But we'll see. We'll see the reason in chapter 9, because that's where it'll be more effective, when Evan will do a specific thing that you'll see eventually. But
in the meantime, Floyd keeps getting better ingredients, including garlic. Yeah,
basically, by finishing this side quest, the general store now also sells specific meals. So once again, doing the side quest will give you another reward for buying the store, and at the same time, it will also allow Floyd to cook other meals. But anyway,
Pedro,
yes.
Pedro, the next main mission is called
Nemesis. Yeah.
Nemesis. Please don't tell me that Tom Hardy's going to come on and say he's like a contrived clone of Evan or something.
Yes, this is
Venom.
Yes, this is secretly the new Star Trek movie all along. You just didn't know it.
Please was referring to Star Trek 9.
But don't you see?
God. Tier 2. Nemesis is nowhere near as bad as Insurrection.
But don't you see, Teo? Just like Into the Darkness was basically just Wrath of Khan again, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is just Star Trek Nemesis again. Don't you see?
Totally. The resistance is futile. Anyway.
See you everybody for the next part.
See ya.